You are now listening to
the Primal Armor Podcast.
This episode is sponsored by Executive Fit LLC. They build custom deadlift platforms, custom barbell storage pieces, and make indoor and outdoor signage for your home or corporate gym. Every platform that pairs with a rack is customized to that specific rack, so everything fits nice and clean. And they ship nationwide. Each platform has a logo applied in a way that makes it impossible to peel up from wear and tear. They even make custom nameplates for your squat rack. Visit executivefitllc.com to request a quote and see what's available on their store. That's executivefitllc.com to upgrade your deadlift game today. Welcome back to episode 52 of the Primal Armor Podcast. I hope you guys really enjoyed having Nate from Executive Fit on last week. He's a good dude, and I'm really glad that he's been such a huge part of Primal Armor ever since season 2 started. This week's theme is going to be a little bit more of a rant than it is an overall topic like we usually do. This week, we're going to be focusing on why everyone gets so triggered so easily these days and how people rush to be the first ones offended by something, almost like they think it's an honor to be offended. I want to start off by ranting about how butthurt people have been the last few weeks about this whole Kylie Jenner deal and her short little private jet flights. For those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, the internet's been in an uproar that Kylie Jenner gets in her flight for about 3 minutes to go across Los Angeles. And I just don't understand why people feel the need to care about it so much that they want to keep making post after post and news after news about it, like it's going to do anything about the problem. Don't get me wrong. I love nature and the outdoors, and I'm a huge advocate for keeping things as natural as they can be. But come on, people. This is just ridiculous to throw that big of a fit about it. It doesn't affect you in the slightest, but it's still been one of the top headlines in the news as of lately. That just shows how terrible our priorities lie as a nation right now and how terrible the news is. It's going to be happening whether you like it or not. So it's not like stressing and complaining over it is going to do anything. It's not like it's going to change FAA flight regulations. It's not like it's going to change state law or federal law. So people just need to let it go and live their lives as they do. It literally doesn't affect you in the slightest. And if you act like it does affect you, you're just lying to yourself. And then that's causing extra stress that you don't need in your life. If life was like it was 100 years ago, you wouldn't even have a clue that this is happening. The only reason you do is because of the news and social media. And that's how you know it's not affecting you. Another one I saw very recently, it's a trending video of Gordon Ramsay that's going around that where he hops in a pen of a bunch of different lambs. And he's joking around by acting like he's picking out one of them for his dinner. And he starts rubbing his hands together and saying, yummy. And this has caused an absolute uproar in the news too. It's like people think, oh no, let's not slaughter these animals. Let's go buy the ones in the store instead. Like those ones don't come from the same exact situation. Like there's any difference. And it's not affecting you. Actually, it is affecting you. But the only way it is because you're causing extra stress in your life because you're worried about the stupidest things right now. And while these examples aren't necessarily focused at you guys directly, I know for sure there's plenty of things that we all get worked up about and that are absolutely pointless. I know that because I do it myself. But we need to try putting that negative energy towards situations like these and put that into something that's actually productive in your life. We as a society need to quit being so quick to what we get offended by and by everything. It's like a competition of who can get offended first and who can get offended the easiest. And it's not even for themselves. They're getting offended for other people. It's like people just want to be anxious and stressed out all the time these days. And you can't say anything without offending someone these days. It's just everyone is a bunch of freaking snowflakes. One thing I saw the other day that actually triggered me was it was a Cosmopolitan magazine cover of a very, very obviously obese woman. And the caption says, "This is healthy." And People in the comment section tried arguing that, and people got so offended. And I just had to laugh at the utter stupidity of those people. If you want to say big is beautiful, then go ahead because there's different strokes for different folks. And you can't argue that. People have their opinions in that way. But big is healthy, you can definitely argue that point. And if you don't want to listen to that, then just shut off this podcast right now and continue to be arrogant because big is not healthy. Every single pound that you're overweight, it's an extra 4 pounds of stress on your knees. People that are already sedentary enough have terrible joints, and there's no reason to be adding that extra stress on your body. Let's just say you're 50 pounds overweight, which is starting to be the average here in the United States. Then you're adding 200 extra pounds on your knees every single day. And that's basically just piggybacking an extra person every single way you go. And recent research shows that being overweight makes you at an 80% higher chance at developing type 2 diabetes. And then you'll be pricking your fingers and or even your gut multiple times a day to control your diabetes. And it also increases your risk of heart attack and stroke. But big is healthy, right? Having a higher BMI also increases your health insurance premiums. A lot of places make you pay extra fees for extra materials and extra large clothing options. You're going to be visiting the doctor more, especially as you age and fight the diseases that obesity brings on. But it's all cool though, because being big is healthy. I don't care that I have sleep apnea and I'm choking on my own chins at night. And I don't care that I'm losing money in all these different ways because I'm big and healthy. You see how freaking stupid that sounds? People just want to argue against me these days because they're overweight and they don't want to accept the fact that they aren't healthy either. And it's time to just take some pride and some initiative and some damn responsibility for yourself instead of just trying to change the rules and try to argue against everything that doesn't fit what you want or what you need. Because sometimes the truth hurts, and that sting is what is needed to make a change. Because I'm just sick and tired of everyone trying to dodge their problems and make excuses for them. And it doesn't even have to be fitness specific. It goes back to the whole 3-minute flight thing that I was talking about earlier. Everyone tries to avoid their own problems by pointing the finger and making a problem out of someone else's life instead of looking in the mirror because they don't want to take responsibility. It's so much easier to hide behind pointing out someone else's flaws instead of looking at their own. And much of when people are like this, it strives from insecurities in some way or form. There's so much negative energy behind people's motives these days. And if we could just restructure that energy into something more positive and more productive, it would change our lives and all the people around us tremendously. And I'm not going to act like I'm perfect. I stress about stupid stuff and things that don't matter one bit, like the whole Cosmopolitan magazine thing. That triggered me, and it shouldn't. But I just wanted to get that point across to you guys. We're all human, and it happens to the best of us. But that's just debilitating, and it makes you lose so much energy throughout the day when you stress like that. So we need to start looking at the glass as half full instead of half empty. And you need to do this for the people around you because no one loves a negative Nancy. And it's crazy how quick that your energy will come back and how being positive just builds and builds and builds on everything that you focus that on. And everyone around you will notice too. No one wants to hang around a grumpy old guy or the pessimist that never has anything good to say. They want to hang around the guy that can never stop smiling and is always positive about things. So it's good to always try and be that because, like I said earlier, we are humans and we struggle to be positive 24/7. So if you surround yourself with those people who are like that, then they'll make your life easier on those days when you're having an off day and struggling. And then you can help people around you when they're having those bad days and struggling because you're trying to be positive as well. Because in reality, your day isn't all too bad. You get to wake up every single day and enjoy another day on this earth. And some people don't get the opportunity to say that. So quit stressing about the stupid and petty things you see on the news or in the social media or even in the tabloids because those things aren't making your day any worse. You're the one who's making it worse by having that attitude. So try to be more conscious about being positive going forward and see what that does for you and others around you. Positivity radiates, and you can play that off of everyone around you. So don't go spiraling down that staircase. Work hard and be positive so you can make your way up those stairs, even when it's tough. Do some self reflection in the next week and figure out what your stressors are. and the things that make you negative, and try to consciously change those things and try to change your attitude. Because remember, no one likes a negative Nancy. Before we end today's episode, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Anchor Podcasts. They distribute this podcast to you guys in just about any platform you may try to find us on, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. All the recording, editing, and final touches are also done through Anchor, which makes getting the Primal Armor podcast out to you guys very quick, easy, and mobile. You guys can also submit questions or voice messages that I can add to our next episode. Go download the Anchor.fm app today to check out what it's all about. I just want to thank you for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you back here again next week.